that you can get set up now to prepare to use Google Classroom. So this particular meeting won't actually go into Google Classroom. It's just all the front loading stuff. So the first thing to note is that we, on our Chromebooks, you will not be able to record Zoom. You can present using Zoom on the Chromebooks, but you can't actually record. So because of that, I am going to show you a little bit about the Chromebook using this fancy camera from my laptop because I couldn't record it from the stream itself. When you have your Chromebook, you are going to notice a few things. One of my most confusing things is that this is like using this is using a whole new operating system. This is going to be similar to like from switching to, I don't know, the equivalent of Windows to Mac, right? So all the stuff is there. It's just a little harder to get to just because it's different. Your Chromebook also does not have very much local storage. This becomes kind of a problem in some cases because we are, oops, anyway, so this can become kind of a problem because you are going to have to save everything to the cloud. So just make sure that you are kind of aware of that. All right. Okay, so just kind of, I think I have a little bit of feedback. If people can make sure to mute if they're not talking, that would be good. Thank you. I think that will fix things. Thank you. Okay, so anyways, you got your Chromebook here, really similar otherwise to a normal OS. A couple of handy dandy little things. People kind of get confused when they're switching tabs on the Chromebook because it's going to look a little bit differently than it does here. So on your keyboard, if you have a window that seems like it disappeared, on the top of your keyboard, you have a button that looks like this. Do you guys see that button? I hope you do. It's on the very, very top of your keyboard. That is going to allow you to do the switch window function and find whatever it is that you thought that you lost. And so again, this is on the physical keyboard itself. So it's a button on the top up here, okay? So that's one way to do it. If you also have lost a tab somehow, or you have something you think you did but you didn't, you can also click Alt-Tab, and that will allow you to go between windows pretty easily and quickly. Otherwise, I think the Chromebooks really you just kind of have to monkey around a little bit. I did post a video on how to log in under multiple accounts already. So you will watch that if you're having any trouble with any conflicting accounts. So let me open the chat. Okay, so when you guys are setting up your Google Drives, you are going to want to make things in the shared drive. If you really are curious, I can tell you why this works best, but otherwise just trust me and try to make everything in the shared drive. When you're using your shared drive, this makes it really easy to collaborate, especially if you're like in a team or special ed. Once you get to the shared with me or my drive, all the sharing settings are super screwed up and they get really cluttered really quickly. So you're gonna wanna use your shared drive here. So you can see the one that I use for my team for biology that we can open up. And then you can use this to house all of your master documents. So at this point, what I would recommend to you guys is to be creating your master documents, your assignments that you will want to push out. It is important that you use Google products to create your master documents. You do not want to just import things from Word, because remember the kids are going to be using the Chromebooks, right? The Word interface on Chromebooks is okay sometimes, and sometimes it's really terrible. But because we can't help them in class and do things live with them, I would really recommend just kind of like copy and pasting in whatever you want to do into a Google Doc, all right? So you can add members up here if you're interested. So that was kind of at the top. I should make my mouse shiny. Okay, so you can add members, type in their name. So let's say Megan Artisan, who already is on my account. And then make sure that you don't have everyone getting too much access to your data. So if you're on a team, really only one person should have like the content manager access. Everybody else should be a contributor, a commenter, or a viewer. The reason for this is that if you have too many people as the content manager, that's too many cooks in the kitchen. You don't want somebody else accidentally deleting files, moving files, right? It gets really messy. But contributor works out pretty well because they can add things that you can move around later, and they can edit documents and things like that. So I would make sure that for your team, you would have everybody else besides you be a contributor. So that is a good little best practice thing there. You are also going to probably want to know how to like make a doc. So to do that, you go into your top left corner, you click new, and then you can create whatever tickles your fancy. I really recommend, and this was in one of my videos already too, so you can watch more details about how to do that again if you need to. But this format works really well for me. This is probably what you might want to do or consider doing if you are, since everybody's doing remote learning now. This is a fill in the blank thing, right? Every question can be a different box, so all the questions are on the left, and then the kids just type in whatever they want on the right. This is pretty neat too, because the kids can actually like insert pictures. So if I go to insert, image, oops, image, and then they can actually, if they click camera, they can just like hold up a piece of paper, and then they can just upload it directly to their Chromebook. So even if they don't have a cell phone or anything, they can take pictures using the camera on their Chromebook. I use that a lot in biology because we draw lots of diagrams. There's lots of system-based processing that goes on, right? So I just do a ton of that with biology. That is something that you would want to walk through with your kids, especially with the younger ones. So you'd want to create a little video or something showing how to do that using the camera and everything. But once they kind of figure it out, there's really usually not a problem with that. So that's just something worth knowing there. And then I also recommend having, you could put YouTube links, you can embed instructions in here. Later on, once you have pushed all these assignments out to students, you can actually access someone's individual assignment. And it's pretty cool because you could add sentence starters for somebody if they needed it, and only that student. So it's a really useful tool for differentiation as well, because you can type directly into their document and modify it for them. Add pictures, add links, whatever you think is going to be helpful for them. Again, we'll get to that more tomorrow because me and Megan Artisan are going to lead a special ed collaboration talk at 10 tomorrow morning. So if you're interested in that stuff, stay tuned. So these are kind of some basic best practice there. Let me go to my little chat thing, and I think I saw something if I can find it. Where'd it go?
That should be fine.
Why isn't it going? Well, anyways. Okay, so if you have questions, you should let me know. I lost my chat window. Let's see, what did I do with that? I had it before. That didn't work. Who's texting me? Well, anyways, does anyone have any questions I can answer right away? That they can unmute themselves while I figure out where my chat window went?
Scott, I have a question for you. Can you hear me?
I can. What's up?
Do we need to worry about privacy when a student is taking a picture of themselves or their work?
I mean, I don't know. I suppose there are some parents that probably signed, you know, that release, or the non-release, I should say, at the beginning of the year, because it's an automatic opt-in unless parents signed not to do it. And I don't even know who houses all that information. I think at this point, let's proceed with the assumption that privacy isn't an issue, and that if parents reach out to us and they, you know, voice a complaint, or, you know, or they indicate that, you know, that they've opted into that and they've signed that, then we'll cross that bridge. But I think I think everybody has to understand that we're in a pretty unique situation right now. And as long as what we're doing is appropriate from our end,